Hey everyone, I'm Dan from JazzComposersPresent.com, an online space where composers, musicians, and listeners come together to celebrate the music we love. I'm joined today by Deanna Witkowski, pianist, composer, band leader, and award-winning author of Mary Lou Williams' Music for the Soul. Deanna is here to show us her approach to arranging two large-scale works by Mary Lou Williams.
Thanks, Dan. It's great to be back here with everybody. So I'm going to walk us through a little bit how I approached arranging two pieces of Mary Lou Williams for my most recent recording, which you see here. It's called Force of Nature. And Force of Nature features about 11 or 12 tracks of my arrangements of different Williams compositions. I also wrote, as Dan mentioned, a biography of Mary Lou Williams, Music for the Soul. And what I really wanted to do, so the recording came out about 5 months after the book, so I kind of see them as like companions to each other. And I also wrote the liner notes for Force of Nature because I really know this music from a standpoint as a pianist and also historical background, and wanted to give a sense of why I did these arrangements at all. So you see here in this first slide, these are my original liner notes to each of the tunes. And you see number 2 and number 3 there, I'll say Aries and Taurus, which are from Williams's 1945 work called the Zodiac Suite. If we go to the next slide, you will see number 4 there, track 4, is what we're going to talk about a little bit now, where I paired one movement, just one theme from Cancer, Mary Lou's Zodiac Suite, with a work that she originally actually wrote in 1967 for a group of 14 students at a Catholic girls' high school in Pittsburgh for her Pittsburgh Mass, and it's called Act of Contrition, and she used it later on as part of her larger work, Mary Lou's Mass, and that recording came out in 1975. So the reason I put these two pieces together is because to me, they both are very kind of thick sounding, sound like laments to me. And there's a couple of recordings of Mary Lou's 1945 Zodiac work from that year. The first she did as a trio, and then she had a small chamber orchestra arrangement that she did on New Year's Eve of that year, so the eve of 46. And whenever I think of this particular part of the Zodiac Suite, I actually hear Ben Webster's tenor sound in my head because he was the soloist on that recording. And it's, again, just this sort of very lush sounding melodic piece but it's also quite angular. And it kept me in mind with Act of Contrition, which is a super hard piece for vocalists to sing because of the interval jumps. So we're going to look at the chart right now. And you see there, letter A is actually just the first theme. I only took the first theme of Cancer. And letter B, for copyright reasons, I'm not showing the whole thing. But letter B, it shows words there. And we recorded this instrumentally instead with Clay Jenkins on trumpet on both. But the piece is just quite jumpy, and all of the intervals are difficult to sing. And it's kind of, to me, sort of like a difficult piece because Act of Contrition is supposed to be a prayer that might have been said like when someone goes to confession after they state their confession. So I put these two things together in this arrangement. So what we're going to listen to now is the very beginning of me playing solo piano once through letter A, so you can hear that melody kind of leading into the next section. from that part, it goes on. We go through letter A again a couple of more times with Clay Jenkins again plays the melody on trumpet there, and then solo through it. And then we go into the act of contrition. And if we can just show that chart again. So you see the beginning of the words there, oh my God, I detest all the sins of my life. And then it goes on, sorry for having offended thee who art all good. It's a very short piece. In fact, when Mary Lou recorded it, it's only about, I think, like a minute and 10 seconds or something. But I also chose to do this more slowly than I think she usually did it, to keep it in kind of the same kind of emotional sphere of Cancer from Acts of Contrition. And also because it's being played instrumentally and not having the words attached to it, it doesn't have to be a thing that you have to know the words to kind of feel the lament in it. So what we're going to listen to now is actually basically starting coming out of letter A the last time into letter B, which is the statement of the melody of Act of Contrition. Again, this arrangement really, I did this for a couple of reasons. One was just these pieces feel like two peas in a pod, sort of a long lament, so to speak. And also I think it really shows an arc between Mary Lou's early work, the Zodiac from 1945, and when she started doing her sacred music in 67, but putting them both together in an instrumental context. So I hope that gives you a sense of why I put these two pieces together and how I approached arranging them. To me, they really sound together as one long lament, whether you're hearing Cancer on its own or Act of Contrition on its own, which you can actually do by looking at the links that we have below. You can hear the original versions. You hear them separately, but here, putting them together kind of makes a longer emotional arc and kind of shows a historical connection between the two works.
Thanks for watching today's mini lesson. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos down below. To watch our full-length events and participate in live Q&As with our presenting artists, head to jazzcomposerspresent.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.